Startups get the party, startups get the party started. Startups get the party, startups get the party started. You want tech and tacos, tacos and tech, you know we got tacos and tech is on smash for the green guacamole. Keep accountants counting beans, contador cuentan frijoles. Founders trying to raise some queso. La vida San Diego, school of rapping fire. Tortillas round jalapenos. In these modern times of craft beer and coffee, my coding yoga posse, fold the body, origami. We be surfing Coronado, eating tacos el gordo. The taco stand in puesto, lucha libre and sombrero. Gotta shout out Tecos Daniels by the ocean, watch the sunset. La Jolla shores, entrepreneurs trying to get funded. When San Diego Startup Week is popping in the summer, Oceanside to Tijuana, SD be full of hustlers. From couch surfing to penthouses right on the beach. Tech leaders who believe stars are within reach. We interviewing founders who be shooting for the moon. Hashtag SD Tecos with your host, Neil Bloom. Come on. Startups get the party, startups get the
Welcome
party,
to the Tacos and Tech podcast, where we discover cutting-edge San Diego technologies and the builders making it happen. I'm your host, Neil Bloom, San Diego's tech ambassador, and together, we're going to put a face to the name of today's tech leaders with our own blend of local lifestyle.
Startups get the party, startups get the party started. Startups get the party, startups get the party.
Thanks to our friends at Cox Business for being an instrumental resource to our startup and tech community here in San Diego. As a partner in San Diego Startup Week, Quick Pitch, and Top Tech Awards, Cox Business has helped our ecosystem grow into the community it is today. And welcome back to the Tacos and Tech podcast. I'm your host, Neil Bloom, and I am thrilled to be joined by Anita Habish, Vice President of Marketing Programs at Pear Sports. Hey, Anita, thanks for being on the podcast.
Hi, Neil. Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, it's so great to connect with you here. Want to get to know your story a little bit, but can you give us a quick overview of what Pear Sports is?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So Pear Sports was founded on the concept of democratizing access to world-class personal trainers. Not everyone in the world has $150 an hour or whatever it may be to have that sort of personal training experience. So we used a digital model to give people access to world-class adaptive audio training. Pear created an award-winning app for that. In the last 5 years, however, the company has really pivoted to become a B2B software platform company that powers other brands with our smart digital coaching tools and content.
Oh, interesting. All right. Well, we're excited to dive into that story and the pivots that have come along the way of that as well. But I want to get to know a little bit of your background. How'd you end up here at Pear and in sunny San Diego?
Yeah, gosh, isn't San Diego such a special place? And I feel so fortunate to be here. Well, I was born and raised in Phoenix, and I always loved sports and activity. I ended up running cross country and track on the United States Air Force Academy teams. I probably had more of an intense experience there during my 2 years than any other 2-year period in my life. And I reference that because it does kind of come full circle in our story about Pear. I ended up stopping out at the academy and going to Stanford and graduating there. And that introduced me to Silicon Valley. Always loved technology and studied engineering, but knew that I liked, to be in direct contact with the consumer as well. After having an East Coast experience at the Wharton School, I took my newly minted MBA and ended up here in San Diego and with an entrepreneurial experience at Jabra. So I was part of that founding team that, I was the first marketing hire. We grew it to 150 million. And the important story behind that is that's where I initially met Bob Allison, who is the co-founder and CEO of Pear Sports. He is the managing director of Innovate Partners, and Innovate came in and funded Jabra. That was then subsequently purchased by GN Netcom. So that was a real San Diego success story. I'm happy to tell you that a lot of the basic elements of that brand, that we established originally here in San Diego still hold true. They still follow the brand colors and the names. FreeSpeak was the first Bluetooth headset that was introduced, patented at Jabra, and that form factor is still very much present in their product line today. But the reason why I harp on that is that here I am now at Pear Sports, back on one of Bob's company teams, doing what I really love, which is focusing on health and wellness for people. Those early days running in college and stuff, it feels like it's all led me back to where I am now, and I'm really, really enjoying this ride.
Oh, that's really cool. So many different things to pull out from that. One, you must have been glued to your TV during the Olympics, first of all, I'm sure.
Totally.
Amazing performances, especially on the track side, man. But also kind of this tech mafia that we love to talk about, which is people, having success previously and coming back together to do more. There's a lot of stories, I'm sure, from Jabra from that, people going on to do the next thing.
For sure. And, we still keep in touch with one another. So our CFO, I just talked to him this past week. He just had shoulder surgery. So he, I think, was bored and unable to do other things and started calling all of his old Jabra friends. But you're right. He has his own little company now that's focused on Hawaiian consumer products. And we all still stay in contact, that entrepreneurial spirit lives on and, begets other cool opportunities in the San Diego area.
Yeah. Something else interesting about San Diego, we don't always talk about the consumer brands that we build here. A lot of our big brands are like Qualcomm, which is kind of a chip inside your phone, right? But you've gotten the chance to work on some consumer brands here in town. What's that feeling like? Like, is there a specific group of people who only work on consumer and that's kind of, you're kind of pulling to that?
Well, I think there is that strong consumer packaged goods, for people who really want that. On the tech side, however, and that's more along, the path that I've followed, there's an appreciation for understanding who your target market is and who those personas are and really locking into those. And that is a skill set. But the real appreciation is on the product side. How do you differentiate yourself? How do you make your product unique? And how do you tap into what those unique needs are for your customer set? And technology allows you to do that in such a cool way. There's so many different aspects of tech that we can use to plug in and solve a problem for a consumer. So yeah, with Jabra and then with Alltech Lansing and some of the others, it was a unique opportunity. In fact, right now I'm wearing headphones that we designed at Alltech Lansing specifically for women. So again, another opportunity to take kind of a technology spin and address the unique needs and fit requirements, et cetera, for a population.
Oh, that's really cool. So take us through kind of your, besides knowing Bob and when he was obviously starting Pear, I'm sure he gave you a heads up. What was it like for you to take the leap and say, all right, I'm ready to join back in, join the team again?
Yeah, so I was at Alltech and doing other busy things in my life. Well, I had children and took a little break for that, as many of us moms do. And so I didn't join Pear until it was 2 years ago now. He, tapped me at the point where Pear was very seriously making that pivot to B2B and really beginning to reposition the company, the solutions, and the brand. And that's what we're in the process of doing right now.
Got it. So take us through that. Take us through kind of Pear's evolution. And what did the customer tell you that told you, to go towards the B2B side?
Well, it's very interesting when you look at recent developments, and I'm really talking about, the pandemic and COVID-19. We've seen the plethora of digital apps out there increase tremendously. The amount of downloads has increased like 46%, according to URSA. What that means is that we're probably looking at a hybrid kind of fitness and wellness model in the future where people do want to return to the gym and the studio, but they also want to have a solution that's readily accessible to them wherever they may be, if they choose to work out at home or during travel, whatever. So we're finding that lots of companies and brands out there and communities need to expand their offerings beyond just the four walls of their facilities. There's a lot of competition, as you know. You have to hand it to Peloton and Hydro and many of the others that are coming out with some really cool hardware, but also content solutions. But oftentimes what we're hearing is that people are almost lost. Like, where do I start? There's so much out there to choose from. So what Pair is doing is really addressing, what should I do? And did it work? And what should I be doing next? And what am I ready for? So with the acquisition of Performance Lab in 2020, Pair is now on the verge of really launching our AI program builder, which is an artificial intelligence-based program builder that will be able to push content out based on an individual's unique biometric data and their goals. So you're no longer left just searching through a huge catalog of content options, but instead we can actually prescribe a fitness training program for you. So that's where we're going. And, with these recent developments in our, public health system, really, we think it's time for a prescription of fitness. Lots of information out there about the benefits of that fitness has on our overall health, our well-being, our mental health. And it's something that is really overlooked. And we think it's time to change that. And we kind of want to own that space, that prescription of fitness.
So take us through what it looks like for, say, a company that wants to engage with this. Like, what's the experience like?
Awesome. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, because it's kind of cool and focuses back on San Diego, is a recent contract that we were provided by AFWorks. And AFWorks is an incubator with the United States Air Force that has contracted with Pair to provide a scalable physical fitness solution for warrior moms. So it's really cool. It's relevant to kind of what's going on in our world today. Lots of focus on women and the unique positive benefits that they bring to the military. And there's also lots of demands on women. For example, once a female airman has a child, within 12 months, they're expected to take the PFT, or the physical fitness test, and pass it. And if you've had a complicated pregnancy or whatever may have happened during the course of, pregnancy and childbirth, the Air Force is making these requirements, but not providing tools. So there was a base, Dyess Air Force Base in Texas, that had a classroom-based environment. It was very successful, very popular within the Air Force, but limited because, it's in the classroom, right? And then the people who were running it were not completely dedicated to it, and they could be restationed and, have other commitments. So they have asked Pair to develop a scalable, solution for warrior moms, and it's called PrEP. It's based on the program that started at Dyess. So that's postpartum rehabilitation and reintegration exercise program. Not the name I would have given it, but it's popular. People know about it, and so we are just kicking that off, and that's an example of what it looks like to take a platform like the Pair, health and wellness platform, and tune it towards a particular target market and be able to create a really hyper-personalized solution.
It's great timing with August being National Breastfeeding Month.
Yes, yeah.
So really good timing with a rollout like that.
Good point. Another thing where Congress has mandated breastfeeding rooms on each base for moms. All the good intention is there, and some of the more progressive bases have those. Many of them don't yet. So again, this is just an opportunity, and honestly, the support Neil, comes from the top. The Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Chief Bass, is female and has supported this program and been behind it. And we're starting to see just a lot of movement to support females in the military and specifically, with breastfeeding, with their pregnancy journey, as well as the postpartum, and making sure that we don't lose this really valuable set of talent because they can't pass a physical fitness test, and everyone wants to feel strong. Everyone wants to get back to active duty and contributing. So we just have to provide them with the tools. This is a cool digital way to do it. It's scalable. You don't have to hire a lot of, well-trained staff, and people can do it no matter where they're based. It works globally, as long as you've got internet.
Yeah, that's exciting. Congrats on that. Take us through, where besides this kind of deployment and engagement coming out, like what's on the horizon over the next year for PAIR as you embark on this kind of B2B path?
Yeah, thanks. So I think the most exciting thing is the launch of what we call Next Gen, and that is our AI program builder. So that's not a product that we are shipping yet, but you'll hear that announcement from us. We've been fortunate enough to go from the little startup mode here in Solana Beach to a much larger kind of emerging growth level of a company. And we are able to support larger brands now. So you, of course, may be familiar. If you go to our website, you'll see TRX and Samsung as some of the brands we've been able to support in the past. We're also working with the likes of United Healthcare right now. So there's some exciting things that we can't talk about in great detail yet, but they're coming right down the road, and they kind of fit in with the discussion that we've just had about precision health and wellness.
That's awesome. Well, we're excited to watch you guys grow and hopefully participate as well in any of our companies.
Yeah.
I know you guys are obviously based in a few different places in Southern California, but one being Solana Beach, pretty nice spot to be, especially close to some taco locations, some favorites that have been on the show. But we got to know, Anita, what's your favorite taco spot?
Yay, tech and tacos. So yeah, I'll keep it in the neighborhood then. One of my favorites, and it's really popular right now because it's popular with the racetrack crowd, and Del Mar is racing now. So, you're going to have to expect a wait, but it's called Tony's Jacal. That's Jacal. And it's a neighborhood joint here in Solana Beach's Little Mexico. There's actually a section that's formally named that. Tony's makes the best turkey tacos. So that's my favorite taco for our Solana Beach group right here.
Okay, we love it. That's a new one to our taco database.
Oh, good.
Right there, right over near Fidel's, right? Is that
That's
part
right.
of that area?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So kind of off Stevens and in between like Loma Santa Fe and Villa de la Valle.
You've got it.
Yeah, it's a good little hidden spot over there for sure.
It is. And both of those spots are really good. So
and there's Rudy's right there too, right?
There is. So if you can't get into one, you just go around to the other.
Yeah, totally. No, it's a great spot. And then Brigantine down the road for some drinks.
Yeah, Taco Tuesdays at Brigantine, and you can watch the races. So yeah, there you go.
And you guys are you guys right on Cedros?
We're right on Cedros. Yeah, we're kind of hidden. We're sort of really taking that B2B approach. We're upstairs, but it's great to be able to, we do a lot of walking meetings, for example. Just, for your audience in general, think about ways to get yourself outside, away from, our cramped indoor quarters. And if you've got a meeting that you can do while taking a stroll, even better. Walking a few minutes a day can make a difference. So those are the kinds of messages that we're trying to get out to folks with the PAIR platform.
I love it. If only we could record our podcast while walking, but
there you go.
Yeah, we'll get out now and we'll all go out and get tacos sometime soon. Anita, it was great to have you on the podcast. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you. My pleasure, Neil.
And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
All right. Take care.
Thanks for joining us on the Tacos and Tech podcast with Neil Bloom. Thanks again to Cox Business for helping make this possible by expanding the reach of the San Diego Tech ecosystem. Big shout out to School of Rap for our rad intro music, and thanks as well to Nest Podcast Network, where we are recording live inside their studio at Nest Co-working in Bankers Hill. You can find Neil Bloom on Twitter at Neil Bloom, as well as Fresh Brewed Tech and Tacos and Tech Pod on Twitter too.
Startups get the party started. You want tech and tacos, tacos and tech. You know we got it. Hey. Startups get the party. Startups get the party started. Startups get the party. Startups get the